What if the most powerful warrior in a kung fu movie barely fights at all? What if the deadliest weapon is not a sword, but patience? Today we're diving into top 10 facts about Tai Chi Master by Jet Li, a film that looks like a classic martial arts story on the surface, but underneath, it's a meditation on friendship, betrayal, power, and the philosophy of control. Released in 1993 and directed by Yuen Woo-ping, Tai Chi Master pairs Jet Li with Michelle Yeoh in a story that begins inside a Shaolin temple and explodes into political chaos. But this isn't just another period kung fu film. It's one of the most emotionally charged roles Jet Li ever played. Let's begin. Number 10. The brotherhood that drives the entire story. At the heart of Tai Chi Master is not Tai Chi. It's not politics. It's not even action. It's friendship. The film opens inside Shaolin Temple, where Junbao, played by Jet Li, and Tianbao, played by Chin Siu-ho, grow up together like brothers. They eat together, train together, and defend each other. When they are expelled from the temple for fighting corrupt officials, they step into the outside world with nothing but loyalty and ambition. What makes this relationship so powerful is how relatable it feels. Think of two college roommates in America who graduate and start their careers together. One chooses integrity and slow growth, the other chooses aggressive ambition and shortcuts. That's exactly what happens here. Junbao wants peace and balance. Tianbao wants status and recognition. The world tests both of them differently. As the political situation under the Yuan dynasty grows unstable, Tianbao sees opportunity. He joins the military to gain power. Junbao drifts, unsure of his purpose. This divergence feels organic. It doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual. Small choices create a massive moral divide. That's what gives the eventual conflict its emotional weight. When these two finally face each other, it doesn't feel like hero versus villain. It feels like brother versus brother. Jet Li's performance here is subtle. Early in the film, Junbao is playful, carefree, almost naive. He laughs easily. He doesn't crave authority. That contrast becomes devastating later when betrayal forces him to evolve. Without this brotherhood arc, Tai Chi Master would be just another martial arts film. With it, it becomes a tragedy about ambition gone wrong. Number 9. Tai Chi as a philosophy, not just a fighting style. Most people think Tai Chi is slow-motion exercise you see in a park at sunrise. In this film, it becomes a transformative philosophy born from trauma. After being emotionally shattered by Tianbao's betrayal and witnessing injustice, Junbao spirals into instability. He loses focus, he becomes erratic, his confidence collapses. This is not the invincible hero stereotype. This is vulnerability. The turning point comes when Junbao begins observing nature. Water flowing, branches bending in the wind. The concept of yielding rather than resisting becomes his breakthrough. Instead of meeting force with force, he redirects it. Instead of attacking aggressively, he absorbs and counters. This is where Tai Chi is created within the narrative. From a cinematic standpoint, this is genius. We watch a character reinvent himself not through rage, but through reflection. Imagine a modern American athlete who loses a championship and instead of doubling down on aggression, studies yoga, meditation, and biomechanics to rebuild from scratch. That's Junbao's journey. The choreography reinforces this transformation. Early fight scenes are sharp, explosive, linear. Later scenes become circular, fluid, almost effortless. Jet Li's body language shifts, his breathing slows, his eyes sharpen. He moves like someone who understands timing rather than speed. This philosophical shift also mirrors real-world leadership lessons. In business or politics, brute force often fails. Adaptability wins. Yielding strategically can be more powerful than confrontation. Tai Chi Master uses martial arts as metaphor. Power is not domination. Power is control under pressure. And this is what elevates the film beyond spectacle. Tai Chi isn't just a technique Junbao learns. It's the embodiment of emotional maturity. The calm after chaos, the balance after betrayal. By the time he masters it, he's no longer reacting to the world. He's responding to it. That distinction changes everything. Michelle Yeoh's character is more than a supporting role. When people think about Tai Chi Master, they immediately picture Jet Li's transformation and the climactic duel. But one of the most underrated facts about this film is how essential Michelle Yeoh's character is to the entire emotional and political framework of the story. She doesn't just appear as a love interest or sidekick. She represents resistance, strategy, and moral clarity. Michelle Yeoh plays Shaolin, a rebel leader fighting against the oppressive Yuan regime. Unlike Junbao, who stumbles into purpose after personal collapse, Shaolin is already focused. She understands the system, she understands the stakes, and she operates with calm intelligence. In many ways, she functions as the grounding force that pulls Junbao out of chaos. Think of it like this. Imagine a talented but directionless athlete in America who meets a disciplined coach or activist who channels that raw ability into something meaningful. That's the dynamic here. Shaolin doesn't overshadow Junbao, but she stabilizes him. She challenges him. She reminds him that strength must serve something larger than ego. Her fight scenes are also critical. Yuen Woo-ping choreographs her sequences with speed and precision that contrasts beautifully with Junbao's later circular Tai Chi style. Where Junbao becomes fluid and defensive, Shaolin remains sharp and tactical. The film subtly suggests that revolution requires multiple kinds of strength. What's especially impressive is that Michelle Yeoh performs with authority without reducing her character to exposition. She conveys leadership through posture, eye contact, and stillness. When she commands her rebel group, it feels earned. There's no melodrama, just competence. This is significant in early 1990s Hong Kong cinema. Female characters in martial arts films were often reactive. Here, she drives major plot decisions. She shelters Junbao. She confronts corruption. She fights with conviction. Her presence ensures that the story isn't just about two men and their rivalry. It's about the larger struggle against systemic abuse of power, and that's why her character matters so much. Tai Chi Master may carry Jet Li's name, but Michelle Yeoh gives it ideological backbone. Number 7. The political undercurrent reflects real historical anxiety. On the surface, Tai Chi Master is a period martial arts film set during the Yuan dynasty. But beneath the choreography, a deeper political commentary that resonates far beyond its historical setting. The Yuan period in Chinese history was marked by Mongol rule, centralized authority, and widespread resentment among the Han population. The film taps into that tension. Tianbao's decision to join the military isn't just personal ambition. It reflects how unstable systems recruit the disillusioned. He's frustrated. He wants recognition. The regime offers him rank, uniform, and validation. It's a classic recruitment arc you see throughout history. When individuals feel overlooked, power structures exploit that insecurity. If you translate that into a modern American context, it's similar to someone leaving a tight-knit community to join a corporate or political machine that promises rapid advancement. The promise of authority can be intoxicating, the cost often invisible at first. Meanwhile, the rebels, led by Shaolin, represent decentralized resistance. They operate quietly, strategically, and with moral conviction. The film doesn't glorify them blindly, it shows their vulnerability and sacrifice. But it makes clear that unchecked centralized power creates instability. One subtle but powerful detail is how Tianbao changes physically as he rises in rank. His clothing becomes sharper, his posture becomes rigid, his speech becomes harsher, he stops laughing. Compare that to Junbao, whose transformation leads him towards softness and flexibility. The film visually contrasts authoritarian rigidity with philosophical fluidity. This isn't accidental. Yuen Woo-ping constructs the narrative so that political ideology is mirrored in fighting style. The military uses direct force, formation, intimidation. Junbao's Tai Chi disrupts that with redirection and internal balance. It's almost symbolic. Systems built purely on dominance eventually collapse under adaptability. For American viewers especially, this theme feels surprisingly current. The struggle between ambition and ethics, centralization and community, rigidity and adaptability, these are universal tensions. Tai Chi Master disguises these ideas inside sword fights and weir work, but they're always there. That's what makes the film rewatchable. It's not just about who wins the final duel, it's about what kind of power survives. And as Tianbao sinks deeper into corruption, you don't just see a villain emerging, you see a cautionary tale unfolding. Number 6. Yuen Woo-ping's choreography reinvented Jet Li's on-screen identity. By the time Tai Chi Master was released in 1993, Jet Li was already a global martial arts icon. He had played disciplined heroes, national legends, and righteous fighters. But this film marked a turning point in how audiences saw him. Under the direction of Yuen Woo-ping, his fighting style on screen evolved from explosive dominance to philosophical precision. Yuen Woo-ping is not just any action director. He is a master craftsman of movement, known for blending acrobatics with storytelling. In Tai Chi Master, he doesn't treat fight scenes as interruptions to the plot. He uses them as character development. Early on, Junbao fights like a Shaolin disciple, fast, direct, aggressive. His strikes are linear, his footwork is sharp. There's power, but there's also ego. As the story progresses and Junbao experiences betrayal and emotional collapse, his movements become unstable. There's a brilliant sequence where his fighting loses structure. He's strong, but unfocused. It mirrors a professional athlete in America who has talent but is mentally shaken after a personal crisis. Skill alone is not enough. Without emotional balance, performance cracks. Then comes the transformation. Once Junbao embraces Tai Chi philosophy, the choreography shifts dramatically. Instead of attacking first, he waits. Instead of clashing head-on, he yields and redirects. The camera lingers longer. Movements become circular and rhythmic. You can almost feel the breath control guiding each motion. This stylistic change wasn't just aesthetic. It redefined Jet Li's screen presence. He was no longer simply the fastest or most athletic fighter in the room. He became the calmest, the most centered, the one who understands timing over force. In a broader sense, this shift influenced how martial arts cinema portrayed mastery. It wasn't about who could throw the hardest punch. It was about who could remain composed under pressure. Think of it like elite American quarterbacks who don't panic under blitz pressure. They read the field, step subtly, and release the ball with minimal wasted motion. That economy of movement is what Tai Chi Master captures. The final duel between Junbao and Tianbao showcases this contrast perfectly. Tianbao attacks with fury, speed, and overwhelming aggression. Junbao absorbs, deflects, and counters with precision. The choreography becomes a philosophical debate expressed through bodies. That is the genius of Yuen Woo-ping's direction. He didn't just stage fights, he staged ideas. Number 5. The film's emotional breakdown scene is one of Jet Li's boldest acting choices. One of the most surprising facts about Tai Chi Master is that its most powerful moment in a fight scene. It's a breakdown. After Junbao realizes the depth of Tianbao's betrayal and the consequences of his ambition, he spirals into emotional instability. He laughs uncontrollably, he loses composure. He appears almost unhinged. For audiences used to seeing Jet Li as stoic and controlled, this was shocking. In early 1990s Hong Kong cinema, martial arts stars were often portrayed as emotionally restrained. Strength meant composure. Vulnerability was rare. But here, Jet Li leans into psychological fracture. He allows Junbao to look broken. Imagine a decorated American soldier returning home and suddenly confronting the emotional cost of loyalty misplaced. That vulnerability humanizes the hero. It makes the later mastery believable. Without collapse, there is no rebirth. This scene is crucial because it reframes the entire film. Junbao doesn't become a Tai Chi master through physical training alone. He becomes one by confronting his own emotional chaos. His breakdown isn't weakness, it's transformation. Yuen Woo-ping frames this sequence with minimal spectacle. There are no dramatic slow-motion effects or grand speeches. Just a man unraveling. The performance feels raw and grounded. Jet Li's facial expressions shift from confusion to rage to absurd laughter in seconds. It's uncomfortable, and that's the point. From a storytelling perspective, this moment gives the final act weight. When Junbao later moves with calm and fluidity, we understand the journey. He earned that balance. It wasn't handed to him. In many ways, this mirrors personal growth arcs familiar to American audiences. Think of entrepreneurs who fail publicly before rebuilding stronger, or athletes who suffer humiliating defeats before mastering mental resilience. The fall is part of the foundation. Tai Chi Master dares to slow down and let that fall happen on screen. And because of that, the film resonates beyond choreography. It becomes about inner equilibrium. That emotional risk is what separates this movie from generic action films. It asks a deeper question: what does it cost to remain true to yourself when ambition tempts you otherwise? And the answer isn't flashy. It's painful, but it's transformative. Number for the final duel is a philosophical showdown, not just a fight. By the time we reach the climactic battle between Junbao and Tianbao, the film has carefully positioned this confrontation as inevitable. But what makes this final duel so unforgettable is just the choreography. It's the ideological collision happening underneath every strike and counter. Tianbao represents ambition without restraint. He has climbed the ranks of the Yuan military. He has authority, soldiers, power. But his rise has cost him empathy and loyalty. His movements in the final fight are sharp, relentless, aggressive. He attacks in straight lines. He pushes forward constantly. There's no pause, no reflection. Junbao, on the other hand, enters the duel with calm breathing and measured steps. He doesn't charge. He reads. He waits. The circular motion of Tai Chi becomes almost hypnotic. Every time Tianbao launches an attack, Junbao redirects it with minimal force. The contrast feels deliberate. One man is burning out. The other is conserving energy. If you translate this into a modern American lens, imagine two business partners who built a startup together. One sacrifices ethics to dominate the market, expanding fast and ruthlessly. The other steps back, restructures, and builds sustainable growth. When their companies finally compete head-to-head, it's not just about profit, it's about philosophy. The environment of the duel amplifies this tension. The fight takes place in open space, stripped of distractions. No large armies interfering, no chaotic crowds. Just a former brothers settling years of resentment. The choreography escalates in intensity, but it never feels messy. Every move serves the emotional narrative. What's fascinating is how the fight visually demonstrates exhaustion. Tianbao grows more frantic. His strikes become heavier, his frustration shows. Junbao remains composed, almost meditative. It's as if the fight was decided long before the first punch. When you lose internal balance, external power can't save you. This duel is often praised for its technical brilliance, and rightly so. But its true strength lies in restraint. There are moments where Junbao could retaliate brutally, but he chooses precision. The film suggests that mastery in domination, it's control over impulse. When the fight ends, it doesn't feel triumphant in the usual blockbuster sense. It feels tragic, two lives shaped by the same beginning, separated by choices. The victory is quiet, almost somber. That emotional tone lingers long after the action stops. Number 3, Tai Chi Master helped shape the global perception of Tai Chi. Before Tai Chi Master, many Western audiences associated Tai Chi primarily with slow, graceful movements practiced in parks. It was seen as gentle exercise rather than combat art. This film challenged that perception dramatically. The movie presented Tai Chi not as passive softness, but as strategic redirection of force. It demonstrated that yielding could be powerful, that stillness could defeat aggression. For American viewers in the early 1990s, this was eye-opening. Consider how martial arts were typically portrayed in Hollywood at the time. Karate and boxing emphasized direct impact. Action heroes relied on brute strength or explosive combinations. Tai Chi Master introduced a different rhythm. Fights weren't just about striking harder. They were about timing, balance, and energy transfer. Jet Li's performance played a huge role in reshaping that image. He didn't exaggerate movements into something mystical. He grounded them. The fluidity felt practical. When he redirected Junbao's attacks, it looked efficient rather than flashy. This cinematic portrayal influenced later martial arts films and even Western action choreography. You can trace elements of redirection-based combat in later Hollywood productions. The idea that softness can defeat hardness became more mainstream. Beyond cinema, the film sparked curiosity about Tai Chi philosophy. American audiences began seeing it as more than retirement age exercise. Martial arts schools reported increased interest. People became intrigued by the concept of internal power. The brilliance of the film is that it never lectures about philosophy. It demonstrates it. When Junbao steps aside at the perfect moment instead of clashing head-on, the message is clear without dialogue. In a culture that often celebrates aggression and speed, Tai Chi Master introduced a counterpoint. It suggested that slowing down can actually increase effectiveness, that patience can disarm rage, and that idea resonates far beyond martial arts. In negotiations, sports, leadership understanding when to yield can be transformative. The film packaged that lesson inside breathtaking choreography, making it accessible without feeling preachy. That's why Tai Chi Master holds a unique place in martial arts cinema history. It didn't just entertain, it shifted perception. Number 2 Jet Li and Chin Siu-ho's chemistry makes the rivalry believable. One of the most overlooked strengths of Tai Chi Master is the authentic chemistry between Jet Li and Chin Siu-ho. Without that believable bond in the first half of the film, the eventual betrayal would feel hollow. But because their early interactions feel genuine, the emotional fracture hits hard. In the opening Shaolin sequences, their energy is playful and natural. They tease each other, they spar competitively, but without malice. There's a sense of shared history that doesn't need heavy exposition. You believe they grew up side by side. That's crucial. When Tianbao begins drifting toward ambition and recognition, the change is gradual. Chin Siu-ho doesn't play him as instantly villainous. He plays him as insecure. He wants validation. He's tired of being overlooked. That nuance matters. It prevents the character from becoming cartoonishly evil. If you think in American storytelling terms, it's similar to childhood friends who enter different professional paths after high school. One pursues public service. The other chases corporate power. Over time, values diverge. Conversations become tense. Respect erodes. What makes their final confrontation powerful isn't just choreography. It's history. Every strike carries memory. Every deflection feels personal. When Junbao refuses to meet Tianbao's rage with rage, it's not weakness. It's heartbreak expressed through restraint. Jet Li's facial expressions during their confrontations are subtle but telling. There's disappointment there. There's disbelief. He's not fighting a stranger. He's fighting someone he once trusted completely. Chin Siu-ho matches that intensity with volatility. His aggression feels rooted in pride. He's not just trying to win physically. He's trying to prove something to Junbao and to himself. That desperation fuels the fight's energy. This dynamic elevates the film beyond standard hero versus villain structure. It becomes a story about divergence, about how small choices accumulate into irreversible distance. And that's why the rivalry works, because at its core, it feels human. One Tai Chi Master is ultimately a story about balance in a world obsessed with power. At number 1, the most important fact about Tai Chi Master is this: it isn't truly about martial arts at all. It's about balance. From the Shaolin temple to the political battlefield, every major conflict in the film revolves around imbalance. Tianbao loses balance through ambition. The Yuan officials lose balance through corruption. Junbao loses balance through emotional collapse. The creation of Tai Chi in the narrative isn't just a fighting breakthrough, it's symbolic restoration. Junbao doesn't defeat Tianbao by becoming stronger in the conventional sense. He defeats him by becoming centered. In a modern American context, this theme feels timeless. Society often rewards speed, dominance, loudness. But Tai Chi Master suggests something different. It proposes that long-term strength comes from control, that reacting impulsively leads to downfall, that sustainable power requires internal equilibrium. The film never states this message outright. It shows it, in posture, in breathing, in the pacing of combat. When Junbao moves, there's intention behind every motion, no wasted energy, no ego. That restraint becomes the ultimate contrast to Tianbao's unchecked drive. By the end, the audience doesn't just witness a victory. They witness a philosophical conclusion: power without balance destroys itself. And that's why Tai Chi Master continues to resonate decades later. It delivers spectacular martial arts, yes, but beneath the choreography lies a reflection on ambition, loyalty, and self-mastery. It asks a quiet but powerful question: in a world that pushes you to dominate, can you remain centered? If you enjoyed this deep dive into Tai Chi Master and want more cinematic breakdowns of Jet Li's greatest performances, make sure you hit like so more martial arts fans can discover this video. Share it with friends who grew up watching classic Hong Kong action films. Don't forget to subscribe for more top 10 breakdowns that explore the stories behind the legends. If you want exclusive content and deeper analysis, click join to become a channel member. And if you'd like to directly support the channel, use the thanks button below. Every contribution helps us keep creating long-form content like this. See you in the next legendary breakdown.